What's up, you guys? Today's lesson is going to be a bit of a very centric, like this is how to make, Christmas songs easier. These are 5 tips. Stick around because number 5 is one you wouldn't expect, but definitely helps a lot. So, I'm going to get into it. What I want to talk about real quick is that Christmas music, a lot of the traditional songs are based on jazz. If you can believe it, jazz was pop. It was the most popular music back in the day. I miss those days. I love jazz. And so you're going to see all these crazy chords, all these complex arrangements and slash chords and walking bass lines and difficult keys, perhaps if you're a guitar player. We're going to address all that, make it way easy, and show you the secrets of success so you can be crooning and singing to your family this holiday season. So step number 1 is to simply use a capo and just change the key a little bit. So some of the easier keys on the guitar are C major. That's the number 1 easiest key because there's no bar chords. And then the second easiest key is G major. If you don't know what those are, I'm going to go through them real quick. The key of C major, minus that little last diminished chord, is C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor. We're going to call it a day. All that's right there. And then the key of G major is G, right? We have then A minor. There's a bar chord there, B minor, so that's why it's not as easy. You can always do that. I've got videos all about those bar chords, by the way, so don't panic. Then C, D major, and E minor. Again, leaving out those little diminished on the 7th. So that right there is an easier key. The G and the key of C are easier than, say, A or E or G sharp or B or something like that. So that's what I'd say. I'm going to give you a quick example of, I'm not going to go super in depth on how all this stuff works. This is not that kind of a video, although I'll make one of those soon. But what I want to do is show you like an example. So let's just say in the song, it's all easy chords, but then there's like a random B major. What's happening in that bridge, right? And you have to play B major like that. That's a tough chord, man. That's a really hard shape. So here's what I say. Put a capo on the 2nd fret. Now you got an A major, okay? Now hopefully the rest of the chords don't get squirrely. We're not going to go deep into that, but using that capo can make it much easier. So every time you move that capo, you've got an A sharp, you've got a B, now you got a C. Oh, there's a weird C sharp chord in there? Well, maybe just play around with the capo, adjust the key. On Ultimate Guitar, they've done this really great thing. I think a lot of websites have done this as well, where you can hit transpose. You can go up and down and adjust things. So I would say this. Adjust it down, go -1, and look at the key. Are those easier chords? If the answer is yes, throw the capo on the 1st fret. If you go down -2, and you're like, oh, this is the easy key, I can handle all these chords, go down -2, throw a capo on the 2nd fret. Now you're in the same key. It's as steep as I'm going to go on that. You're welcome. That's a huge tip, actually. Okay, so number 2, the second reason is, or the second way to lose the, or get rid of the difficulty is to lose the complicated chords, the minor 7s, the major 7s, the dominant 7s, all that's the 9s, minor 9s. In jazz, there's just like a lot deeper kind of chord things happening. So I'm going to say get rid of all that. As an example, if you've got, say, I don't know, these aren't exactly all difficult chords, I guess not for me, but I would say strip it down to make it easy, okay? So if it's difficult for you, like a D minor 7, for instance, right? If you've got one of those kind of chords, just make it a D minor, right? Make it easy. It doesn't sound as maybe jazzy, but it still sounds good, right? Same thing for, say, a D7. If that's difficult for you, I mean, I'd say go for it, but if it's like, I just want to strip it down, make it easy, you can make it a D major, okay? And so on and so on. You can do that endlessly when there's difficult chords that you're like, I need to look this up. Make it a major, make it a minor. So what I'd say is for anything minor 7 or minor 9 or minor, anything, just make it a minor chord. For anything that's like major 7, dominant 7, 9 chords even, or even slash chord, or I'm sorry, even sus chords, sus4, sus2s. If you don't know those, just make them majors for now. So usually those just fill in the blanks real fine. So if an A sus2 comes up and you don't know that chord, make it an A, it's fine. Same thing for A sus4. Okay, cool. So strip down those chords, simplify the chords. Number 3 is the same thing for the slash chords. If there's, say, for instance, a C over a G, which is this guy here, and you're like, I don't want to look that up, or I don't want to just make that shape, it's awkward, it's hard, I'm trying to sing, and the family's watching, make it a C major. Get rid of the second one named, okay? So C/G means it's a C chord, but with the G in the bass. Just get rid of that bass, okay? That bass is typically usually in there, and it's going to take away a little bit from the bass movement that maybe the songwriter or musician had intended for the piece. But keep in mind, a lot of Christmas music was probably written on a piano, where that's much easier. You just got a left hand walking things down. As guitar players, we really got to play some acrobatics to make things like that work. So there's a song I was just looking at. It's like A minor / F. Just play A minor. It's fine. But I would say maybe take that into consideration as something you should pursue and look into. Like, well, okay, I'm going to make it easy. Thank you, Andrew, for making this easy for me, but now I'm kind of curious. Can I level up and just practice some of these slash chords? And that will add a depth and another layer to your playing. This is not that video, but I do recommend going for it if given the chance. This is just a survivor's guide, 5 steps of how to make Christmas songs easier. But anyways, step number 4 is to actually just lose chords, drop chords altogether. You're going to see in a lot of jazz, there's like almost a new chord per phrase or word or sometimes syllable. It's a lot. Get rid of some of those chords that you find unnecessary. It's a difficult thing to teach in a video. It's everything's contextual. But if you kind of are playing these chords and you're finding like, wow, man, there's a lot of chords. I don't feel like that one, maybe it doesn't belong, by the way. It might be wrong. But maybe it is right. And you're like, well, it doesn't serve the melody as much as maybe that first chord. So maybe I can just play just the first chord, right? I don't have to play the next 2 or 3 or whatever it might be. Eliminate, but be cautious in terms of how it's serving the melody. It's all about the melody. So chords are there to support melody. If you're singing it and you're finding there's like just one chord and there's a lot of melody and it kind of gets awkward, well, maybe there might be another chord you got to put back in, all right? So use caution with that, but that's something I would say. The final and 5th tip is one that's a little bit odd and something you might not, consider. But if you're basically playing, say, let's say we've done all the 4 steps, we've stripped it all down, and it's this, right? So I did G, A minor, E minor, D. I stripped it down to the key of G, right? And you just really struggle getting all those chords. Let's say the D is really difficult for you to get to. That's a lot. I'm muting stuff. Not a problem. Get rid of the rhythm. Get rid of the strum pattern. I know it's not going to be as fun, but hey, I'm just trying to make it survivable. So typically whenever you're, doing some holiday caroling or with your family or whatever it is and you're playing, they're going to do a lot of the singing as well. So that kind of picks up where maybe that rhythm might have left off. So instead of this big, beautiful, busy rhythm, right? Just do that. Right? So if it's really difficult, go ahead and just drop the rhythm, all right? But again, all these tips are just there for, just getting you to survive through the holidays, if you will. But I would recommend taking any of those little holes in your playing and considering pursuing them and looking deeper into how can I overcome this and not need videos like this and maybe for next year's holiday gathering. So, hope this helped you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy holidays.